So last year, I sat in rooms with founders doing hundreds of millions a year, and some of them described this even as a bad year. I also sat with private bankers whose clients have sold companies at 19 years old. I also sit with family office principals who don't take meetings unless you've been referred to at least 2 times. I want to tell you exactly what I've learned, because none of this is what you'd expect. The thing I noticed is that people who work at the top aren't working harder, they're working in better context. Now there's a founder who I know who considered £10 million a bad year, not because he failed, but because his frame of reference had shifted. That's what rooms do to you. They recalibrate what you think is possible. You see, most people are capped not by their ability, but by the ceiling of the conversations that they're having every day. If your best conversations are people who are doing £200,000 per year, that becomes your ceiling. Not because you're not capable of more, but it's because you can't see past what you're surrounded by. I've watched this happen in real time. Operators who are struggling, not because they lack skill, but because the relationship they had reinforced the mid-market reality. The moment they changed, the rooms and the ceiling lifted. And the shift isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's one conversation, one dinner, and one introduction that changes how you see the scope of what's possible. Now, for many of you who know what I do, I've completed many transactions at the highest level of prime central London. And I can tell you, the thing premium clients are actually buying the most is never the thing on the surface. They're not just buying the square footage. Most of them tend to be buying a lifestyle infrastructure decision, whether it's schools for their children, privacy for family that can't be visible, security, staff, the right neighbours where they're positioned. The property is usually the last thing that they choose. And yes, it is very relevant, the sizing and the gardens. I've had clients who spent 6 months choosing a school before they looked at a single floor plan. That's because the property was almost secondary. And what they needed was someone who actually understands the whole picture. And this applies to every premium market, not just property. Your clients aren't buying your service, they're buying the outcome, the experience, and the confidence that you can actually deliver and understand their world. The moment you start selling to that, everything changes. And that's what benefited my business. Your fees change, your client quality changes, and the conversations that you have change. You see, most entrepreneurs try to convince clients with capability. However, premium positioning convinces them before you ever speak. I'll give you a very practical example how I apply this to my life. So when I moved my office from Canary Wharf to Mayfair, I didn't change my skills or my service or my team. All I changed was my postcode. And within 30 days, the quality of people calling me was completely different. Now this isn't because Mayfair is magic, but because positioning is a signal. So before anyone reads your proposal, before they hear your pitch, before they Google you, they've already made their judgment. Your environment, your address, your associations, your existing client base, your appearance, all of it signals whether you're playing at their level. And that's why most operators try to convince people with their words. However, premium positioning convinces them before you speak. And I see this constantly. There's 2 operators with identical skill sets. One is based in a shared working space, for example in East London, and one has a Knightsbridge address. They pitch the same client, the same deck, similar fees, one gets the meeting and one doesn't. And it's not because of talent, it's signal. The question isn't, am I good enough? It's, does my positioning reflect the level I'm actually capable of? And that's why I've realized that the real advantage at the top isn't information. YouTube, AI, everyone has access to information now, but judgment and association is key. And I'll give you a practical example. This week, I sat alone with a Premier League football agent, planning transfers for the new season, JP Morgan asset manager, a founder who's doing tens of millions per year. I sat with a private Swiss bank managing hundreds of billions in assets. And these conversations don't actually come from a LinkedIn cold message. They come from being in the right rooms, constantly over time, being heard, showing up and being referred to. You see, building a network at the top isn't about collecting contacts. It's about becoming someone who's actually worth knowing. There's dozens of operators usually in one industry. What will make you stand out? And that starts long before you're in the room. It starts with how you position yourself, where you show up, how you signal, the kind of operator you are, even before you introduce yourself, because trust me, they've already done their research. Over the years, I've watched people walk into the right room and waste it because they haven't done the positioning work before they got there. The room is only as valuable as the version of you that shows up in it. And for those of you who are enjoying this and want to learn more about positioning, I've recently opened up DJPS Members, which is a community for high-level operators who are looking to be positioned properly to get the right brand, network, and attract premium clients. If this is something that you want to be a part of, then just click the link below and book a call with our team to see if it's best fit for you. Now, I want to be honest with something. None of this happened overnight for me. I started sourcing deals, as many of you have, many rent-to-rent deals or low end of the market from investors who wanted to pay me little. And I was doing so much work. And it took me such a long time to realize that the problem wasn't the market. It wasn't the economy and it wasn't the competition. It was my positioning. I presented myself at a level that attracted the clients I was getting. The moment I raised my standards, my address, my associations, the deals that I work on, my minimum fees, and the conversations that I was willing to have, everything started to change. It wasn't immediately, but it was irreversibly. And that's what I want for any operator who's watching this. Not a shortcut, not a hack, but a real deliberate shift in how you position yourself in the market. And so for those of you who are already doing deals in your current market, and you know that you're capable of completely different, you just need to have the right positioning, the right network, and the right room to get there. And this can be broken down into 4 clear steps. Number 1, identify your niche. Who are you? What type of customers do you serve? And what is your positioning? Number 2, where are your current clientele hanging out? What rooms are they in? And how can you now directly have access to them? 3rd, who are currently associated with your clients and how can you tap into that ecosystem? And number 4, how can you now deliver a premium service where that one customer will bring you all of your future business? Now, if you apply this framework to any one of your business, you can now become a premium operator. And that's why I call it the Premium Blueprint. I put all of this information into a premium community called DJPS Members, where we're working with the most successful operators across the country to help them be positioned properly. From weekly calls to retreats to quarterly events, we have it all. And you're going to be in a room with other successful individuals who are working with these premium operators. So if this is something that may be of interest to you, then just click the link below. And again, it's application only. Not everyone who applies will be qualified. And as there's limited spaces, we'll only accept people who we generally think are best fit. So if you'd like to watch any more of my YouTube videos where I talk about branding, positioning, and also just real estate in general, then click the link below and they'll be attached. I'll see you guys in the next one.